The world feels smaller than it once did. Our cities are growing taller and wider, our roads are more congested, and our global family has expanded to numbers never before seen in human history. This is the reality of our time. We often hear the term overpopulation. It describes a situation where the number of people living in a specific area exceeds the capacity of that environment to support them in a sustainable way. A city, a country, the entire planet. This isn't just about physical space. Fresh water, fertile land for food, clean air to breathe, and the resources needed for everyone to live a healthy and dignified life. The date is October 27, 2025, and our global population continues to climb, placing unprecedented pressure on the very systems that sustain us. The problems are not abstract or distant, they manifest in our daily lives. The conversation about population can sometimes feel overwhelming or even pessimistic, However, viewing it through a lens of problem, impact, and solution can bring much-needed clarity. The problem is the rapid growth in human numbers combined with high levels of consumption. The impacts are wide-ranging, affecting our environment, our health, and our economies, but the solutions are within our reach. They are not about drastic or coercive measures. Education, healthcare, empowerment, innovation. By calmly examining the facts, we can move beyond fear and toward constructive, collaborative action. This is not a story of doom, but one of challenge and opportunity. The same human ingenuity that has allowed our population to flourish can also be harnessed to help people and nature thrive. Imagine the Earth as a large, shared household with a pantry that has finite supplies. As more people join the household, the demand on that pantry naturally increases. This is the core of the resource challenge we face: food, water. To feed billions, agriculture has become a massive global enterprise. Farmers work tirelessly to increase yields, but this often comes at a cost. Intensive farming can deplete the soil of vital nutrients, making it less productive over time. Chemical fertilizers and pesticides can run off into rivers and streams, polluting water and harming aquatic life. Water itself is another critical point of pressure. Every person needs water for drinking, sanitation and cooking, and for the production of nearly everything we use. Industries and agriculture are enormous consumers of water. As cities expand, demand on rivers, lakes, and underground aquifers intensifies. In many regions, sources are drained faster than they recharge. Wells run dry. Rivers shrink. Once fertile regions turn to dust. Energy is the engine of modern society, powering our homes, our industries, our transportation. A larger population, especially as living standards rise, requires tremendous energy. Coal, oil, natural gas. Burning these fuels releases greenhouse gases that trap heat and warm our planet, driving more extreme weather, melting glaciers, and rising seas. These impacts further threaten food and water security. We also rely on raw materials, wood for homes, minerals in our devices. Mining, logging, and extraction expand to meet demand, causing deforestation, destabilizing climate, and contaminating land and water. We live on a finite planet, and ever-increasing consumption is testing its limits. Recognizing this is the first step toward finding more sustainable ways to live. While the strain on natural resources is global, the most immediate impacts are felt in our cities and communities. One of the most visible effects is housing. As millions migrate for opportunity, cities struggle to keep up. Demand outpaces supply, driving up prices, and making safe, affordable housing harder to find. Informal settlements can proliferate, often lacking clean water, sanitation, and reliable electricity, conditions ripe for hardship and disease. When populations outgrow infrastructure, public services strain, hospitals and clinics overcrowd, waits lengthen, medicines run short. Schools face too many students per class, limiting attention and learning. A large population can fuel dynamism, but if jobs lag, unemployment and underemployment rise, especially for youth. Economic insecurity increases inequality and makes it harder for families to advance. Daily life can become a struggle. Long commutes, crowded homes, constant worry over basics. Chronic stress takes a toll on body and mind. The goal isn't survival, it's for everyone to thrive. We must build communities that are not just bigger, but better, healthier, and more equitable for all. As human settlements, farms, and infrastructure expand, they encroach upon the natural world. Forests, wetlands, grasslands, and other vital ecosystems are often the first to be sacrificed. Trees fall for timber, farms, and housing. Wetlands filter water and act as flood barriers, yet are drained to make way for growth. Habitat loss is the single greatest threat to biodiversity. With homes destroyed, wildlife has nowhere to go, fueling what scientists call a sixth mass extinction. Healthy ecosystems regulate climate, store carbon, and stabilize soils. Wetlands and mangroves buffer storms. Bees and other insects pollinate our food. When we degrade these systems, we dismantle our own life support, raising disaster and scarcity risks. A larger population generates staggering waste, especially plastics that enter rivers and oceans, breaking into microplastics that harm marine life and the food web. Air pollution from industry, vehicles and biomass, burning drives, respiratory and heart disease, hitting children and elders hardest. The health of people and planet are two sides of the same coin. The relationship between population growth and climate change is complex but undeniable. Every additional person adds to total energy demand and resource use. Impacts vary by how and where we live, but the aggregate of billions drives emissions. With economies still powered by fossil fuels, more electricity, transport, and goods mean more warming. Fairness matters. Wealthy nations with smaller populations drove most cumulative emissions, and high-consumption lifestyles have outsized footprints. As developing nations lift people from poverty, energy use rises. The dilemma: improve lives without crossing climate tipping points. Population growth exacerbates heat waves, droughts, and floods. Impacts hit harder in dense or resource-stressed regions. A drought where few live causes hardship. The same drought in a booming region can trigger crop failure, famine, and mass displacement. Population pressure is a threat multiplier. Meeting growing needs can worsen. Warming. Clearing forests releases carbon. Nitrogen fertilizers emit potent gases. We need a two-pronged approach. Accelerate clean energy and reduce per capita consumption in wealthy nations while addressing drivers of population growth through positive, rights-based approaches. That's the crux of it. When we talk about solutions to population pressure, the most powerful, effective, and ethical approaches are not about control, but about empowerment. At the top is universal education, especially for girls. The data is clear. Education changes life trajectories. Educated girls tend to marry later, have fewer and healthier children, and earn more. Access to voluntary family planning and comprehensive healthcare lets families decide the number and spacing of children, often choosing smaller families across generations. Modern contraception is cost-effective, reducing maternal and infant mortality, improving well-being and slowing growth to ease pressure on services and environment. Strengthening women's rights and expanding economic opportunities transform societies, shifting norms, elevating voices at home and in public life. This catalyzes progress and demographic transition to sustainable birth rates, education, family planning, women's rights. A win-win-win for women, families, communities, and the planet. By focusing on well-being and empowerment, particularly of women and girls, we create a positive feedback loop toward a balanced, sustainable population. This is the humane, effective path forward. Alongside empowerment, human ingenuity has a massive role in building a sustainable future. We need more food on less land, using less water and fewer chemicals, through sustainable agriculture, precision irrigation, crop rotation, and drought-resistant seeds. Curbing food waste, about 1/3 globally, via better storage, transport, and habits, can cut the need to produce more. As cities grow, we can sprawl into traffic-choked suburbs, or build dense, walkable communities with efficient transit. Smart planning reduces car reliance, cutting pollution and emissions. Design for efficiency, add green space, integrate rooftop gardens, and invest in robust waste and recycling systems. Well-designed cities can support many people while shrinking footprints. Falling costs for solar and wind enable rapid grid decarbonization, powering homes and industry without warming the planet. Storage tackles intermittency, efficiency slashes demand. Individual actions and innovations matter, but they must be scaled by smart, forward-thinking policies. Governments should prioritize and fund public education, public health, and family planning, investments that strengthen society. Shift subsidies away from harm and toward solutions. Price carbon, and back renewable energy and sustainable farming. Promote circularity with standards and markets for recycled materials. Protect nature with parks and reserves. Enforce pollution rules, and plan land use to manage urban growth. Prevent deforestation, and preserve farmland. No nation can solve this alone. Global agreements and support, financial aid, technology transfer, and knowledge sharing enable collective action. The challenge of a growing population on a finite planet is real and significant. It touches our food, water, health, and climate. Yet a clear-eyed look reveals a path forward based on dignity, justice, and common sense. Invest in people, or educate girls, ensure voluntary family planning, uphold women's rights, and innovate to live lightly on Earth. Progress is underway, the solutions are proven,